All right. I think we're live. I'm just getting sort of warmed up here. Let's see. I gotta go
Live
on
on
the
what?
gotta go on
10 seconds
Instagram.
already.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Well, today, guys, hello everybody. Welcome into the meat of the matter. Tony has been a lazy boy. He didn't get a pre-show warm-up algorithm thing, but we have Mark. He's on a little bit of a holiday. He's taking some time with his family. He's taking some time for the holidays for detoxing from social media. So we have our very special guest and the man behind all our music, Byron Funk. He's joining us today. Of course, we have Peter. And today, guys, we're going to talk about bread. I know in our community, we know a lot of this stuff, but Fleur and I saw this thing on YouTube, and it was a presentation about the seven most popular breads in Canada and the making of it. And it goes through all this stuff, and it is mind blowing. So I thought, especially us being in the carnivore community, we always have these conversations. We always have these questions about bread. People always say, "Oh, I can't stop eating bread." Well, if you saw this, I think if the world saw this, they'd be thinking again, especially being in Canada. Also, kind of done a little bit of a rebrand myself. My studio is getting built, and I'm trying to expand my YouTube stuff. And with it, this week I was talking about how eating less is not necessarily about the food. There's a bunch of stuff, and I put out a couple clips and let the hate begin. I've got a couple comments to show you about how eating less, is might not be the answer. We know, but you know what? Some people still hold on to those old ways and they won't die. So we're going to get into this. We're going to get into it. Byron, Peter, Tony, Mark, we love you. Let's go.
Is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps.
I can't even look at a carbohydrate.
Now that I think about it, we probably would.
That it doesn't make sense.
I was tired of the guessing games, faking health, playing diet names, low fat life, vegan soul, but deep inside I didn't feel whole. Then came fire, then came fat, steak on the plate, I bounced right back. No more crashing, no more drag.
You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion.
Looking forward to talking about this recent controversy. I've already been doing it for over 2 weeks now.
Your fiber intake is fucking zero.
There is a constant in the calculation.
It is the most toxic fucking diet I have ever seen. Ever. It's not healthy. It is far from fucking healthy. Okay? It is the least fucking healthiest thing you could ever do for yourself.
And we are live. This is the Meat of the Matter podcast. Today we have Byron and, of course, as always, Peter. Hello, guys. How are we doing today?
All right, great.
Every time I hear that, Byron, I love it, buddy. Thank you for that music. Go check out Byron at Carnivore Beats on YouTube and TikTok. And we love you, buddy. And thanks for stepping in for Mark today. Mark, we love you too. And we're hoping you're having a great holiday season with your family. And he's still putting out the shorts, not eating broccoli. So just, a heads up, Mark is scraping the mushrooms and the broccoli off his steaks. And I had a little thing lined up for it today, but we'll get into it next. We'll probably do that next week. So, boys, it's been a great job, by the way, last week with Stephen Thomas, thanking him for being on the podcast. We went in a little early, so it kind of shook things up a little bit, but guys, that was awesome. Also, Victoria's in the chats. We love you, and your Carnivore Evolution is lighting up. They're getting some good guests. They always have good stories. That's Mark and Victoria's Carnivore Evolution. And, of course, supporting the carnivore community worldwide. If you haven't followed that, if you are a carnivore, what are you doing? Go to the Carnivore Community Worldwide on YouTube and Instagram, where we get together and we chat. And it's a lot of fun. They've been having some pretty good guests. Sean Baker's been on, Bart K, lots of stuff. So, boys,
I'm very curious, Tony. Have you been eating bread last week since you came up with this video? Or
No, I have not. And this actually,
Okay.
This actually really hits home why. So, guys, have you ever wondered why all these things are and happening? You ever wonder how bad bread is for you? And that's foreshadowing a little bit here. So maybe we'll start with the bread. Before we sort of go through this video, obviously, guys, you don't eat bread. Peter, we know why, for the most part. I mean, obviously, there's the blood sugar factor, but the grain factor. And Byron, I'm pretty sure you don't eat bread. When was the last time you guys ate bread?
1 month ago.
1 month ago?
Yes, it's really true. I went to France for this culinary weekend. There was this very good cook.
Yeah.
So I ate a few things that he cooked meat, which I normally eat raw, of course. And there were some ingredients, but also at breakfast there was this super nice French sourdough bread. And actually I had... I don't have celiac disease, but I have a long history of following a gluten-free diet because I was noticing intolerances for it. But I thought, well, let's try it for one time. And it actually didn't do so much harm, besides the blood sugar peak, of course. That was really disastrous. And if I would continue with the bread, for sure, I would have noticed all the symptoms from the past again, no doubt.
And you were in probably arguably one of the best places for bread. If you had to eat it, that would have been, like there is that whole thing about, the old world, Italy, France.
It's still rich in gluten. Actually, maybe in France and Italy, they often use this type of, they have numbers for it. And I'm not sure if the lower or the higher the number, the more gluten it also contains, I think. So in terms of gluten, it might be actually the same or worse.
Well, I think French bread, like proper French bread, they cure it, and it actually helps the gluten go down. That helps. The old world ways like that we've all forgotten, And actually, before we get to Byron, Victoria in the chats, she's saying she gets horrible leg cramps. So anybody in the chats, Rick's mentioned. We'll put these on. Let's do this today. Rick's mentioned it's been a long time. When have you guys in the chats? When's the last time you ate bread? How did it go? And Byron, when's the last time you did?
I had a taste this past week at work. But that's because the supplier, what happens is sometimes we might get stuff from a supplier and the stuff that we sell, they'll use the ingredients and all that to make bread. So it's like there's a bread that had raisins, there was something in it but I'd only have like one slice, like small, because also same as some of the others, if I have even one slice of bread, depending on the ingredients, my stomach tells me that same day that it doesn't agree with it. But that bit of bread didn't do much. It was actually, you didn't even need to put butter on or anything like that. Other than that, I'll make it my choice. Like if we go out anywhere, it'll be the scrambled eggs, meat, and if there's bread with it, I'll tell them don't include the bread at all or the toast, because again, it doesn't agree with the stomach, and then later you feel bloated and you feel the gases and you're like, oh man.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is, and that's I think bread is probably the best example of the fact that things are not the same as they were, specifically over the generations, even like the last 100 years alone. But even before that, like back in biblical times, like it is not the same thing. So we talk about bread like what it is in the stores, but it is so far removed from ancient grains, proper processing, like real natural processing. And I mean, I think Victoria in the comments mentioned that about Paul Saladino pushing sourdough. In my opinion, if you had to eat bread, I think a good sourdough made from proper ancient grains would be the way to go. But, I still, have a tough time. I don't feel good when I eat it. And it's not, I think the last time Fleur and I, we had a burger bun. I think the burger bun was nothing because it just got melted away by all the stuff, by the fat, it just didn't really feel like the same. I think it was a brioche, but I mean, I've had burger buns in my 5-year carnivore journey, and every time now I can't do it. Like it just doesn't taste good anymore.
But all the burger buns and the breads, even in the US and maybe also Canada, they no doubt contain added sugar and maybe milk powder, that sort of things.
Well, I mean, if this is any indication, Peter, about what is in breads, I mean, you can only imagine when we watch this video that what is in burger buns. I mean, it cannot.
And just one thing that I came across today, maybe or yesterday, a video of a health-conscious influencer that eats unprocessed foods as much as possible, he was looking at the bread labels, and he was afraid of the fact that there was sugar mentioned. But it was this white bread, so people have no idea what they are looking at, because those sugars, they are identical to those. It's maybe not literally starch, but it's almost starch, of course, the flour that's used for those breads. So it's identical. Once it passes your mouth, it's the same.
Yeah, and wait till you hear. Like, I didn't realize this about Canada, that we have this thing that's our alternative to high fructose corn syrup. But we're going to see it. So let's get into the video, and we can stop it at any time. So just let me know what you guys want to do as we go. So here we go. Oh.
Contamination, recalls, chemical additives banned in other developed countries, corporate deception on a massive scale. We analyzed 12 of Canada's most popular bread brands. We examined CFIA recall databases. We broke down ingredient lists. We investigated what companies don't want you to know. What we discovered will change how you shop forever. These are the bread brands Canadians need to avoid. And by the end of the video, we'll show you which bread is actually worth buying. Let's expose them. Number 11, Wonder Bread, the most recognized name in Canadian bread for over 70 years. Parents have been feeding this to their children for generations. It's in millions of Canadian homes right now. The packaging promises softness, freshness, tradition. But here's what they don't tell you. The first ingredient is enriched wheat flour. Translation: refined white flour stripped of all nutrients, then artificially fortified with synthetic vitamins. And the first ingredient means that's what there's most of in the bread. Third ingredient, glucose fructose, Canada's version of high fructose corn syrup. But it gets worse. The ingredient list includes calcium propionate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, monoglycerides, and azotic arbonamide. Azotic arbonamide is a dough conditioner. It's also used in yoga mats and shoe rubber. Health Canada allows it. The European Union banned it in food in 2000.
Do you guys remember when all this talk with McDonald's, they started like, a milkshake was like one molecule away from styrofoam, and like there was all these, it's just proof. Like, it's there. This is true. Like, that bread stabilizer or whatever that is. But how do you feel about eating a yoga mat, boys?
It's amazing, right? That like seed oils, all these ingredients, they come from industry in the end.
Yeah.
Probably it already had some purpose, and then they had too much of it, and they'll just put it in our foods. Do you know, by the way, actually, all these terms that were mentioned like 10 seconds ago? So I've seen maybe calcium propionate, but all the others, they were sort of new to me, I think.
But there's also nothing in that ingredients list that they read there. And each bread, when you look at the ingredients list, like people were trained to look at that little block showing the carbohydrates, the sugars, the fats. Yeah. And that's the part that they can deceive people in, because if it's less than a certain amount, they don't have to show it. But the ingredients at the moment, they can't deceive anybody, because they have to do it from the most weighted to the least weighted.
Yeah. And that's a good point, Byron, because it's like the calories on the menu boards. It's a trick. It's a trick to make it okay. You know what I mean? Like,
300 calories of this that's got no nutritional value versus 450 calories that's got nutritional value. Go for the least calorie, because everybody's focused on the least amount of calories. Like, what a lot of bull.
And that reminds me of, like, I just had a conversation with a friend of mine the other day where we were at his house, and he's like, well, okay, we were talking about this, because I was mentioning how we're going to talk about it on the podcast. And he shows me his cereal. He's like, well, at least I'm eating this cereal. It's good. And I look at just start with the carbohydrates. It was like 79 grams of carbohydrates in a cup. And then it was like 25 or 19 grams of sugar, like on the label, plus a few little grams of fiber. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, how often do you have a cup of cereal? Like, do you realize? And then I explained to him, like, 4 grams of glucose in your blood. Look at this, man. He's like, oh my God. I'm like, wow. Like this is the stuff that we deal with. So,
and was this all his breakfast? Probably not, right? Maybe a glass of orange juice with it, or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, though, is that even these guys are showing their breakfast, and you see them online, and they're posting with their protein shakes and their protein powders, and they're having their bowl of cereal, and they're having something else mixed in it, and it's got so much grams of 42 grams of protein and all that. But it's like,
Wow.
protein is not a protein, especially when it comes to what the body can absorb and use.
Yes.
And then at the same time, most of them are young influencers. Nothing against young influencers, by the way, but we were there before as well. And the problem is, if you look at the amount of sugars they're consuming now compared to
Totally.
when we were young type thing, the amount of sugars they're consuming, you keep doing that. And when you get to your 50s and 60s, then we'll see what that sugar's years
Exactly.
of compounding is going to do to your body and your autoimmune system and everything like that. So
Yeah.
And you made a good point, because we're going to talk about that soon, because they're going to mention that. They're going to mention, oh, it's got some protein. That's good. And it's like, but we'll get it. We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
well, but when it comes to the sugar, I mean, I think that they should abolish this section on the food labels where they talk about carbohydrates and then they say like of which sugars, because especially with bread, probably when you take this Wonder Bread, if they do it well, they can say it contains 0 sugar, because again, you just look at the starches, which technically aren't free sugars.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what would be lovely is on the back of packaging that have the teaspoon of sugars or the sugar blocks of how much
Yeah.
sugar is in each of the package system,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you'll see a difference.
Because, like, I mean, I saw a presentation. I think it was Carb Addiction Doc, and he had his dietitian on there, who's obviously she's sugar savvy, and she did a presentation about like one slice of white bread comparative, like it's double and a half, one slice of your blood sugar, one slice of bread. So
Yeah.
you're like, what's the difference? It's pretty crazy. So let's get
That's
going.
a small slice, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that's two, Peter. We're going to get into that.
2005. Each slice contains just 1 gram of fiber and 230 milligrams of sodium. Nutritionally, it's almost worthless. And Canadians pay $3.49 per loaf for this.
Sorry, Tony,
But
you want to
here's the
stop
real
that?
issue.
Yeah.
Wonder Bread isn't made fresh.
What's up?
Just a note there. Listen carefully to what he just said there. 1 gram of fiber,
Yeah.
and then the sodium. And what did he say? It's got no nutritional value.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the very fact that he's saying that, and everybody's saying you must have fiber, like what?
Yeah,
the-
exactly.
Yeah.
That's where, and that's where you got to have you got to take this with a grain of sodium here, because they're still coming from what they think is nutritious. And that's a good point, Byron, because you're going to notice that comes up quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
worse because we know the fiber's bullshit. We know that the sodium on its own, they're not using salt, they're using sodium. You know, it's not coming with trace minerals. It's not coming with, you know what I mean? They're not using Redmond real salt in there, man. Like,
No, they are not even using natural fibers if you're unlucky. I mean, like apple fiber or worse.
Yeah.
So,
It's just interesting that he stayed, because normally on your social media posts like this, they would say, oh, you need fiber, and there's good fiber. But he just said it there plain and clear that it's worth nothing.
oh yeah, it's funny how it comes from that place. Well, sorry, 1 second. What happened here?
It's par-baked at a central facility, frozen, shipped across the country, and reheated in stores. You're eating reheated frozen bread with industrial additives and calling it fresh. Number 10, Dempster's, another Canadian household name. The company markets itself as a trusted brand, family-friendly, reliable. The truth is far less comforting. The ingredient profile is virtually identical to Wonder Bread. Enriched wheat flour, glucose, fructose, the same lineup of chemical additives. 1 gram of fiber, 240 milligrams of sodium. But here's where it gets insulting. Dempster's charges $3.79 for the same 570-gram loaf. You're paying 30 cents more for the exact same product as Wonder Bread, same factory processing, same frozen distribution, same reheating in stores, different label, higher price. And here's what most Canadians don't know. Dempster's is owned by Grupo Bimbo, a Mexican multinational corporation. It's the largest baking company in the world. This isn't a small Canadian bakery. It's a corporate empire optimizing for profit margins, not quality. The Canadian tradition you're paying for doesn't exist anymore. Number 9, Villaggio. The Italian bakery bread.
I used to eat this
Premium
bread
packaging,
because I thought it was
thicker
awesome.
slices, higher price point. Canadians pay $4.49 to $4.99 per loaf,
How much
believing
does a
they're
pound
getting
of
artisan
ground
quality.
meat cost?
But here's the
in
disturbing
US?
part. Whole wheat
What's that, Peter?
A pound of ground meat in the US, because it's
Yeah.
like maybe $5 or $6.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, look up the calories. I mean, besides the calories, look up the nutrition that you get from.
You know, if you ever wanted to know and feel like you're doing the right thing, this video puts it all into everything from every aspect. Sugar, bread, fiber, all the shit. You're like, I would rather buy a quarter steak than a loaf of bread. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, how much nutrition does that bring to the table? Like, I would rather buy 3 eggs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what? It's so crazy. And it's just like, you know, we kind of know this stuff, but seeing it like this, and then you look at it from the economic side as well, as everybody thinks like, "Ooh, I'm gonna save money this week. I'm gonna buy a lot of bread. I'm gonna, you know, buy the cheap staples."
Well, I
Even
mean-
if you would do classical calorie counting, this argument already holds. Like more calories per buck instead of buying this bread. I mean, people always complain like butter is expensive,
Yeah.
and I've put it like hundreds of times in the comments. Like, what if you calculate the euros per calorie, and then,
Yeah.
and then
Really?
it's silent.
If you were thrown on an island with a 30-day supply of either just bread or just beef,
Yeah. I'd rather
Yeah.
eat the dirt, I think. than
Yeah,
the-
indeed. I'd rather fast, but
I think 30 days of just eating bread, I think you'd be in a bad spot.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
well, that's an interesting thing. I think it was during World War II in Europe that especially celiac people, they actually became healthier during the hunger winter here in the Netherlands
Yeah.
because they stopped eating grains.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, right? And they probably ate a few potatoes that were left and flower bulbs and that sort of things, but at least not not that they are great, but probably better. I mean, a potato is relatively benign, I'd say, and a
Yeah.
flower bulb, who knows? But yeah.
Their cost of bread fluctuates based on their packaging, because that's where their cost
Oh,
is, isn't it?
we're going to get into that because that was the thing that blew my mind, because I'll explain it when it comes to it. But yeah, this is the trick, man. You're not paying for the stuff. You're paying for the package for sure.
wheat flour is first. That's good. But glucose fructose appears third. Multiple dough conditioners follow. Calcium propionate for preservation. Each slice contains 340 milligrams of sodium, one of the highest we tested. But wait, the slices are bigger, so the nutrition looks better, right? Wrong. When you adjust for the larger slice size, the nutrition per gram is identical to Dempster's and Wonder. You're just getting more bread per slice, and more sodium, sugar, and additives. The Italian-style branding, marketing. Villaggio is made in the same industrial facilities as other mass-market brands. Par-baked, frozen, shipped, reheated. And here's the twist. Villaggio is also owned by Grupo Bimbo,
Crazy.
the same parent company as Dempster's. You think you're choosing between brands.
Lisa mentioned in the chats there, where did she mention it? Bimbo bread is everywhere in Spain. So we're all part of this, man. Like, and that was a thing that as a Canadian, I had no idea. Well, not that I care, because I don't even, I don't think I've picked up a bread packet in the grocery store in a long time. But it's just crazy how all these conversations I've had with people that won't let go of their toast. And it's like, if you just look at what it is, oh my Lord, it's frightening.
There's a lot of bread products that we sell as well, like frozen breads and stuff that the company sells.
Yeah.
And I can tell you now, there's also a very different ingredient list between vegan products and normal products, and the vegan products are a lot heavier.
Yeah.
The ingredients list is longer.
Yeah. in the name of better, right?
brands. You're actually choosing between products from the same corporation. They control the entire bread aisle, and Canadians paid premium prices for marketing, not quality. But here's where things get truly disturbing. The next brand we
These look
tested
better,
has a
right?
history
Those bread,
most Canadians
over there.
have never heard about.
What's that, Peter?
No, I saw some pictures of more sourdough-like bread.
Yeah, I mean, I
in
think
the
they're
trees.
just. I think their B-roll isn't really matching up to the
Yeah.
thing, but I mean, you know.
And
I
can you
don't- I
find those things as well in the supermarket in your place, or?
Well, you know what? Here's the other thing about, like, you know, we mentioned sourdough. I know this for a fact. It's not real sourdough. Most sourdoughs that are sold, especially any sourdough in a packet, it's just made with vinegar or citric acid. Like they fake the sourdoughness. It's just the flavor of the bread. It's not the way.
Also
It's made.
percentage thing, right? And how much starter that you use, and all this, how much fermentation time maybe.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, it's just, you know, it's no wonder, and this keeps reminding me, it's no wonder they have a hate on for beef, because if you come from that perspective of they don't want us healthy, no shit, this is you know, this is happening. It's crazy.
And it involves contamination. And before we continue to the next brand, which is honestly very surprising, take a second to subscribe and click like. It helps push this investigation to the people who need to see it. Let's go.
Everybody.
Number 8, Country Harvest. Marketed as the healthier choice. 12 grains. Wholesome. Natural goodness. Canadian families buy this believing it's better for their children. The reality is more complicated. The first ingredient is whole wheat flour, legitimately better than refined flour. A blend of grains follows: flax, millet, oats, barley. No glucose fructose. They use honey and molasses instead. Smaller amounts, less processed sources. 3
Peter.
grams of fiber per slice. 5 grams of protein.
On a sugar standpoint, Peter, how would that do for you?
Yeah, just the same. Yeah, and also the fiber. I mean, it's amazing. All
Yeah.
the flax seeds and.
That we can't even, like, I don't even think flax seeds do anything. They just go through you.
This is genuinely better nutrition than Wonder or Dempster's. But here's what the label doesn't tell you. In March 2023, Country Harvest voluntarily recalled certain whole wheat products due to potential contamination with pieces of metal. Metal in bread, sold to Canadian families. The recall affected multiple provinces, thousands of loaves. The company issued a quiet recall. No major media coverage, no public apology campaign. Most Canadians who bought the affected products never even heard about it. And here's the disturbing question. How does metal end up in bread? Equipment failure, inadequate quality control, corners cut in production. Country Harvest is owned by Weston Bakeries, the same company that owns Wonder Bread, same parent company, same industrial production methods, same cost-cutting pressures. The wholesome branding hides the reality of mass production. Number 7, great value.
This is where it gets
Walmart's store brand. It's cheap. $2.47 for a 570-gram loaf. That's 40% less than Wonder Bread. And Canadians buy it thinking they're getting a bargain. But here's the truth. The ingredients are identical to Wonder and Dempster's. Enriched wheat flour, glucose fructose, the same preservatives and dough conditioners, 1 gram of fiber,
Yes,
3 grams of protein, 220 milligrams of sodium. It's the exact
Yeah.
What's
It's- I'm surprised that so far added gluten is not mentioned, because that's what they do a lot here,
Yeah.
especially in those pre-baked breads that you have to put in the oven. And they are usually consisting of like white flour and a lot of gluten added to it.
because I think the gluten like it binds the protein.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
bread.
yeah, yeah. No, that's true, and contains protein, right?
Yes, well, that's haha, good one, Peter. That's foreshadowing for sure.
same product, just cheaper. Why? Because Walmart contracts with the same commercial bakeries that make name brands, often the same facilities, the same production lines. They just slap a different label on it and charge less, because Walmart's business model is volume over margin. You're not getting a bargain. You're getting the same low-quality product everyone else is buying. You're just paying less for it. But here's what should concern you. If Walmart can sell this bread for $2.47 and still make profit, what does that tell you about the actual cost of ingredients? The flour, water, yeast, additives, the actual food probably costs 50 cents per loaf. The rest is packaging, distribution, and profit. You're paying for logistics and marketing, not nutrition. Wait until you see the next one. This brand claims to be organic, natural, pure. But what we found in the fine print is shocking. Number 6, No Name. Loblaw's discount brand, the iconic yellow packaging, the cheapest option on the shelf, $2.29 for 570 grams, rock bottom pricing. And Canadians buy it by the millions. Here's what's inside. Enriched wheat flour, glucose fructose, calcium propionate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, monoglycerides. It's the standard industrial white bread formula, identical to every other brand we've examined. 1 gram of fiber, 3 grams of protein.
Okay, that's where I wanted to stop. Not to mention, I think I'd rather eat a yoga mat, but 3 grams of protein. They say that. Now that protein, they don't let you know the amino acid profile. Like that protein, because Victoria just said there's gluten in wheat. Well, lectins are proteins, aren't they? Right? That gluten is probably part of the protein profile, which is, let alone they just check the crude nitrogen in it, then that's protein. So 3 grams of protein. Somebody eating this bread is thinking they're getting 3 grams towards their daily protein if they're thinking that way. Like it's frightening. It's completely frightening.
And Tony, so I have not visited the channel of this of the makers of this video, but what would their standpoint be? Because I get the feeling that they are sort of food insiders. They want to detect and reveal scandals, but I don't get the feeling that they are worried about things like added gluten, so the gluten besides the one that is in wheat, and maybe the artificial vitamins and all those things. Maybe they realize it's not the best, but they don't realize it's actually bad.
Well, exactly, because they're exposing this from a standard perspective, right? Like the normal fiber is good, protein is protein, like you can see that whole. So I'm happy about this coming out for people to realize that they're eating not food. But the next level down is even the stuff they're saying is good isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the trick. It's like
also they're showing how much money they're making out of the same product.
Exactly.
And if anything, people need to realize in terms of the shopping, it's all about psychology. It's not really about what you're putting in your mouth. It's our psychology of how we're going to make more money just by changing the packaging. And the same thing for water. It's all about the price and the shape of the bottle and what the bottle looks like. But the ingredients inside that bottle is exactly the same thing. So are you going to pay more for the same product or are you going to pay less?
And I was actually involved with a flaxseed sort of company before I started my low carb journey and stuff. And I was part of the sales team, and we were looking to sell it in Taiwan. And this is where I didn't connect the dots back then. This was probably 10, 12 years ago. They took the same product, marketed it at 5 different levels according to the demographic of the economy. So middle class, low class, high class. I didn't even think that's already happening here. I was like, wow, those Asians, they're tricky. Not even thinking that it's possible that it's happening here. And clearly it is.
It sounds like chia seeds, if I understand correctly. Like chia seeds is basically bird seed. And if you go to the pet shop, you can, at least in the past, you could buy it very cheaply. And now it's in the supermarkets for, I don't know, you pay $4 for half a pound or, not half a pound even probably.
I mean, that's the best part, man. Like we all grew up with chia pets. We put that stuff on pets and it grew a little, whatever it is, the plant grew. How did it become? It's like kale. How did that become a superfood? Like we spread it on a clay ceramic pig or porcupine and it grew little fuzzy green shit. Now we eat it and it's supposed to be the best food ever for you. And it's like the kale on the salad bar. That was the garnish, man. It was never the salad. and then all of a sudden it just switched, and everybody's eating kale.
It's the same as with the BAM calorimeters. That as soon as you can measure it chemically in a lab, then it's there, the nutrition, right? Like the calories, they are there.
Yeah,
And now you
just don't absorb them.
This video just shows you exactly what nutrition is, or not. No nutrition in this product, or all these products. And yet, if a type 2 diabetic goes to a dietitian and they give them a meal plan, guess what they include? 2 slices or whatever of bread, or maybe 4 slices a day in their meal plan. And it's like, well, the dietitian's supposed to know what's in these ingredients, and clearly they don't if they add
put a salad leaf on it and a slice of tomato, and it's healthy suddenly.
Yeah. And it's funny how we know this stuff, but it's neat to see from a different perspective. Well, hold on.
230 milligrams of sodium. But here's what makes No Name different. Nothing. It's literally the same product as Wonder Bread for $1.20 less. Same factories, same ingredients, same frozen distribution, different packaging. Loblaws contracts with commercial bakeries, often Canada Bread Company, to produce No Name products. The same bakeries making Dempster's and other premium brands. You're getting the exact same bread, just without the branding premium. But here's the truly disturbing part. Loblaws reported record profits in 2023 and 2024, billions in revenue, while Canadians struggled with grocery inflation. They charged $3.79 for Dempster's and $2.29 for No Name. Products made in the same facility with the same ingredients.
Like, I don't know how you guys are feeling about your beef prices, but like, I haven't been noticing bread prices for a long time, so it doesn't really, that side doesn't really concern me, but it's happening there too. Like, how are these companies, like, I'm watching in real time over the last 5 years, things go up. Like, we're talking dollars. They're going up by the pound, by the ounce, by the tablespoon in a butter, eggs, and it's happening to bread. So if it only costs 50 cents a loaf, and Canadians right now are struggling. I mean, I've noticed in real time, my food budget is like skyrocketed, especially trying to get, the best quality beef I can afford. But it's coming down to this. Now, what I wanted to tie into this is, if they can control the bread like this, think about why this is why they want lab grown meat. This is why they want cloned meat. This is exactly why, because they can start messing with it. Because people
that's the moment also that you can start doing things on the stock market with it. Because when you talk about grain, they talk about grains in bulk, and with the current Ukraine war, they talk about big quantities of grains and how the transports to Africa are interrupted and that sort of things. And personally, I don't like the idea that I am eating something that is transported in bulk. I mean, the equivalent in terms of beef would be that, I don't know, they transport like millions of cows across the world. And you're taking a tiny piece of it, and it's mixed up. So if you have ground meat, you would be eating the ground meat of 1 million cows at one time. I mean, it's just insanity.
The other biggest thing, though, is that, and obviously the majority of the population don't think like this. But when you have big companies that are involved in medications, as well as involved with the food supply, which is where all this processed foods and synthetic meats and all the stuff that they're doing is involved. If they're involved on both sides of the equation, the amount of money they make, and then also by keeping you sick, they're just feeding the circle. So it's a merry-go-round, just going around and around and around. And people keep getting told it's this and it's that, or it's your genetics and this and that. But they're starting to mess around with your DNA, because even in some of the jabs, they obviously want to make people allergic to real meat, but they'll give you the synthetic meat, and then you're not allergic to that because they obviously haven't made it.
Funny how that works, right, Byron? That's ridiculous. Don't be crazy. Like, no, that's what we're dealing with. I'm right there with you, man, for sure. Anybody in the chats feel about how do you guys feel about that? This cloned lab meat going to be processed like a corporation? And actually, I have a question for everybody. Can anybody tell me what 3 companies are probably involved with that one company, Bimbo? I bet you if we did a Google search right now, we'd be finding out that there's 3 very big companies that are owning Bimbo for sure.
Maybe it's a Dutch company as well, Unilever.
Yeah, well,
It's,
Unilever's owned by
famous one.
who?
Yeah.
The price difference, pure profit.
Starts with black.
You're paying for the brand name, not better quality. And Canadians keep paying it. Number 5. Now let's talk about Dempster's whole wheat. 100% whole wheat.
Not getting
Sounds
any
healthy,
better.
right?
No.
Canadians buy this, thinking they're making a better choice for their families. And to be fair, it is better than white bread. Whole wheat flour is first. You're getting the complete grain with natural fiber and nutrients intact. 2 grams of fiber per slice.
That's a good thing.
4 grams of protein. But here's what they don't tell you. Glucose, fructose is still there. Multiple preservatives, dough conditioners. And look at this, 300 milligrams of sodium per slice. That's higher than the white bread version. Higher sodium in the healthy option. Why? Because whole wheat flour has a stronger, slightly bitter taste.
So, because they're thinking from the salt bad for heart disease, like for your heart, right? Like, so that's that perspective that they're coming from, where, you know, that's definitely arguable.
Well, you add in that 100% ingredient and that tastes bitter, like they said. So what do they have to do? They have to add sugar in.
Yeah, exactly. There is no place for seed oils or sugar. They're not even talking about the seed oils in there. Like, and I know for a fact.
Yeah,
they're-
where are they?
Yeah. So, you know,
But
we gotta
wait, the
take-
dietitians know better. This is healthy for type 2 diabetics.
yeah.
Like honey and dates.
To make it more palatable to consumers used to sweet white bread, manufacturers add more sugar and salt. You think you're choosing health. You're actually getting more sodium and the same added sugar as white bread. But wait, it gets worse. Dempster's 100% whole wheat costs $3.99. That's 20 cents more than their white bread. You're paying a premium for whole wheat flour, which is actually cheaper to produce than refined flour because it requires less processing. This is the health food markup. Companies know Canadians will pay more for products labeled healthy, even when the actual cost to produce them is lower.
That's something that's like we were talking about marketing. That is a marketing trick too, because I was doing this research thing on, you know, like kind of for when we were doing the challenge, I was doing some label researching, and that's the trick. There's no any kind of standard to put healthy on a product. None. So it's not like GMO. It's not like organic. There's some government bureaucracy loophole stuff, but healthy, there's not. So you can put
Yeah,
healthy
the same holds. Maybe I'm not sure if it holds for whole grain. Maybe there's a percentage, but there is like this term in the Netherlands, at least. It's something like multi-grain.
Yeah.
What's the? I don't know. Is it if that's a US term? But anyway, that is not a protected term, or at least also there. If it's protected, the minimum percentages are like, I don't know, it should contain 4 types of grains and at least a percentage or so of each one of them.
In the book, actually, if anybody wants to read a book that'll blow your mind, Robert Lustig's Metabolical. That's what he explains. Actually, it's like you take the germ and the bran off the wheat, and then you put it back in, and you can call it whole wheat. You can call it whole grain. Like it's even though they've taken it off, they can mess with it, and it's like that's not, you know, it's. Yeah, and there's loopholes, so they don't have to declare it. It's ridiculous, and it's like that here too, Peter, for sure.
And here's the final insult. In 2022, Dempster's reduced their loaf size from 675 grams to 570 grams. Same price, less bread. That's a 15% reduction. Canadians are paying the same amount for significantly less product, but the label still says family size. The deception is everywhere, but the next brand is where things get truly shocking. This one has ingredients you won't believe are legal in Canada.
Look at
Stay
that.
with me.
They're already talking about the soybean oil.
Number 4, Wonder Whole Wheat, the
there it is.
healthier version of Canada's most iconic bread.
It lowers
Whole wheat
LDL
flour is
probably,
first.
right?
2 grams of fiber, 4 grams of protein. On paper, it looks okay. But here's what the fine print reveals. Glucose, fructose. Wheat gluten added.
There you go,
Soybean oil.
Peter. Gluten
Calcium propionate. monoglycerides, sodium stearoyl 2 lactylate. And here's the one that should alarm you, azotic carbonamide. Remember this chemical? The one also used in yoga mats and shoe rubber? It's here too. In the whole wheat version, marketed to health-conscious families. Health Canada approves it. The European Union and Australia banned it from food products. But Canadian families feed this to their children every day, believing it's a healthy choice. 280 milligrams of sodium per slice. Added sugar. Industrial additives. And here's the price.
I think what we're
$3.79 per loaf.
I think what we're gonna do is, because we kind of know where this is going. We've seen all this stuff. It's all pretty much the same stuff.
But and number one, did we get number one? Is it?
No, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna go right to
Okay.
the healthy version, and then we can talk about that because it gets. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
But let me predict that the most healthy version probably is like the bake-off breads in the EU, something like that. I mean, it's just
maybe
crazy.
Or frozen. You need freezer space. You need to plan ahead. But that's actually a good sign. Real bread doesn't last for weeks.
So
Real bread lasts 3 to 5 days. That's the whole point. The sprouted grains are legitimate. Sprouting increases nutrient bioavailability. You're getting more nutritional value from the same grain. The organic certification is real, verified, regulated. So, is Silver Hills worth $7?
$7.
If you prioritize clean ingredients, maximum nutrition, and organic certification, yes. If you're on a tight budget feeding a family of 5, probably not. But here's what you need to understand. Silver Hills costs more because real ingredients cost more. Organic certification costs more. Shorter shelf life means higher waste and distribution costs.
Yeah, but if you look at
Paying
that,
for actual food, not food like.
So
the only organic thing that they are freaking saying is costs more.
Yeah.
And I know because our company sells organic flour as well. To bring that flour across the border, or to bring that flour to say organic, you have these organic trusts or these companies that will have to certify that it's organic and it has to be stored a certain way. So, but it's still freaking flour.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Byron. Like, okay, so what they said is there's a Silver Hill Bakery, which is local in where I'm at. Like, it's very local. And okay, sure, they use real ingredients. They use, like, you know, arguably the best quality ingredients. But that's $7.99 for a loaf. Now, Peter, your point back there, when you're paying gram for gram nutrition, Lisa pointed out, I think it was it Lisa? Oh, no, Bride Biscuit, she put it out, 2 packs of ground beef for that price. Yeah. So would I buy a loaf of bread because I think it's better for me? That goes on the whole thing that we should be eating bread in the first place, which is like, that's where the ridiculousness comes in. Now, and how many people use that loaf and they eat that every day? You know what I mean? I'm not talking put a loaf in the freezer and eat 1 slice every month. Who does it? Nobody. You either do or you don't. That is crazy for budget. Like, that's crazy.
And at the end of the day as well, is that they're making the farming more expensive. So it's got not I mean, whether you go beef or you're going flour, organic, or that type of thing, at the end of the day, they're increasing the cost of farming, which is then making food more expensive. And there's no need for it. But how else do they get them to push them towards the crappier foods? Is make farming more expensive, and then the factory produced stuff can be cheaper.
Yeah. And that's it's very, apologies, Bride's Biscuit. I see your name. Come on the show, meet us. I'd love that. But yeah, Byron, you're right. And it's just like, this thing, when I watched it, I was curious to see what they said. And it's like, all these boxes are just ticking in our communities, in our spaces. Like, this just doesn't make sense. And it's like, not only are you poor, but you're getting taken for a ride. And when you think you're upgrading to quality to treat your family better, you're getting taken for a ride. And, you know, like, we all know this stuff is horrifying, but it's neat to see it. So all the people, like, I'm always using these things for arguments with friends and people that I meet that want to hold on to, I'm eating bread because I like it, and it's you know, it's not that bad. Well, how many times you go out to a restaurant, when you order that sandwich or that whatever on the restaurant menu, do you ask about the quality of the bread? Now, being a business owner, how much economically would you be concerned about the bread quality? Probably not many. I'm sure there are out there, but probably not many. So that's the horrifying part, is that you don't even know what you're eating, let alone, do you think, you know, I don't trust a thing I eat in a restaurant.
But also that type of video should show a normal user, a normal consumer, that there's no quality nutritional value in that product. There's nothing that you need that's in that. And then you want to fear the things that are more natural, that have more nutrition in them.
Yeah.
Even if it's vegetables that you're eating, compared to just that, it's like just the video exposes all of that, but yet because of the way it's done as well, people are just going to have a look and say, okay, hey, marketing, oh, that one's more expensive, so I'm going to go buy the cheaper rubbish as opposed to the more expensive rubbish just because of packaging. But at the end of the day, there's no nutritional value in that, and there's nothing in there that, if anything, they're just showing that it's the very thing that you shouldn't be eating.
Exactly. And that's the people who see it will see. But the people that are thinking, and it's interesting how, from an economic standpoint, if you're looking at that thing, you're getting you feel like, oh, good, I'm getting shafted because I'm buying this stuff and I'm getting ripped off. But we're talking about it from actual food. You know what I mean? That's not food at all.
And how can a nutritionist or a dietitian that watches that has studied their notes, because even in their notes that have better nutritional value, how can they sleep at night telling people that have got autoimmune issues or even type 2 diabetes, how can they tell them that that's what they must have? Like, there's no value in it.
And those nutritionists will see the added vitamins and minerals, and they will just add it up to the daily totals and think that,
and we haven't
that will do everything.
We haven't even scratched the surface of synthetic vitamins. Like, you know.
No, but they are all synthetic, apart from a few maybe. But
the frightening thing, which I think, you know, when you deal with like women and pregnancy and folic acid and folate, when you realize that in Canada, I don't know about in Europe, but they spray folic acid on the crops, and they say that it's in there. And that's not even real. Your body can't even process that. Like, that's frightening. And when they can use that as a marketing tool that's high in folic acid. It's not even the right form that we can use in our bodies. And that's the trick. And like, where are you, Health Canada? Where are you stepping in for that? Like, because that's
and now we're getting closer to all the hidden practices, right? Because everything that was shown in this video basically is out in the open. Nothing is new. So people should start thinking like, I mean, they are messing with us financially and nutritionally, and what else is there that we don't see? And think about what's in there and how the ingredients that are used. So not just the ingredients mentioned, but where are they coming from, and what type of ingredient? Because there's a lot of leniency as well there.
We have not.
You're right, Peter, because it's across all industries. At the end of the day, as all this other stuff makes it more expensive, companies need to obviously look at making profits, keeping their margins low. So by changing the ingredients, or even if you're somebody that takes note of your packaging size as well as cost, and you start looking at costs over the last couple of years, you'll notice on many products how you've got less for the same value of money. And they're saying, oh, it's new ingredients and it's new this and that. So everybody focuses on that, but they're not looking at the quantity, whether it's gone from 100 grams to 75 grams, and they're paying the same amount of price. So it's actually becoming more expensive.
And you can look at that with chips and junk food. You notice that the serving size goes up, the price goes up, but the serving size doesn't match the price increase. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was a kid, we'd eat 50-gram bag of chips, 50 grams. Now they're like 95 to 100-gram bags of chips, and it's like.
But this is where, and this is where the food scientists come in that work for the big organizations, is they need to make sure they're putting enough sugar in there to keep you addicted to it, to have more. And this has even come from food scientists that have had interviews that obviously no longer work at those companies. But exactly what they showed in that bread thing. Oh, well, let's go with a cheaper product. But now, in order to keep that bread tasting a little bit sweet, what do we need to do? We need to keep adding the very thing that's going to keep a person wanting more bread because they're addicted to that fructose taste.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Brad's Biscuit nailed it right there, because I see that all the time on especially eggs. Eggs, fed grains, vegetarian feed only. And it's like, when would chickens get access to a bunch of grain? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they purge the wheat fields if they're wild. But this stuff, that means nothing. That means, if anything, you're right. That's taking it away from their species-specific diet. But
it's the same with organic. I mean, when we're talking about eggs, organic eggs, I hardly care about whether they are organic or not, because you pay more. And the first amount of money that you add to it is for the organic. And they will compensate for it by getting corn, soy, or whatever.
Yeah.
So and the chicken, I mean, although it's monogastric, it will still filter out a lot of this stuff if it's not organic.
I think the worst egg is better than the best bread.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Like that's kind of the thing. I mean, it is what it is, and the Bliss point is right. Like that they study this. And when I tell people that they study, but they do, come on. They have people putting stuff on their taste buds, and there's scientists going like a little dab of this and a little bit more of that to get that perfect addictive taste. They do that.
And Brad Biscuit put it there in the comment there, hit the nail on the head, because that's what the food scientists are for. They have to formulate it, and they do the tests on the effect on the human body, as well as obviously the brain. And that's how they formulate everything. So why do you think people are so addicted to cereals? All those formulas have been made precisely the right quantities that makes you want more. And at the same time, if you just eat mainly bread in any of your food, you never feel hungry.
And you know what's funny, Byron? But you say that now, like all of us, I'm sure, I'd love to know about this in the chats, guys, as you guys too. The more you get over to that carnivore, but really it's your proper human species-specific diet, all this stuff gets exposed. Like the shit processed food that I used to think was delicious is not anymore, because you get sensitized to it and you put it in your mouth. You're like, what the hell is that? Before my body feels it, my brain is like, what is that? I'm not talking about sugar. I'm talking about all the, when you have a laundry list of ingredients, it's a chemical mixture of flavor. And it's wild what happens. Like I am drawn to way more natural tasting food now, because that stuff there's like the warning. My brain goes, get this out of your mouth. Like it doesn't even appeal to me anymore.
But also at the same time as well, is when you're having decent nutrition, whatever you're eating, when you're finding stuff that your body uses properly and proper nutrition, you feel that you don't feel hungry, you don't feel snacky.
Yeah, exactly.
You also don't feel those crashes that you have in the afternoons when you're dozing off or anything like that. Your energy levels stay more consistent, but at the same time, you're not snacking. And as soon as you only notice this, obviously, it sounds bad, but once you've been clean long enough, and then as soon as you have too much of that stuff, you start to feel that you're feeling snacky again, and you're like,
exactly.
I haven't felt this for a long time.
Byron, one meal, I feel different. If I take 2 bites of pasta, I feel different. The next day,
then in an hour's time,
is that the thing? Have you been eating pasta?
No. I guess I better tell you guys. Like I've mentioned to Peter before the show, I was like,
shall we do a round of what was our last advice?
We'll get into it. Before we get into what Peter eats, well, hold on 1 second here. I got something. We'll
I use the same tune for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He's Dutch.
He's not weird. He's Canadian.
He's fabulous.
So Fleur and I last night we're doing our sort of like we went to Costco because we wanted to pick up a big tenderloin for Christmas. That's our Christmas feast. And you know, I looked and I saw these hot Italian sausages calling me, and I was like, "You want to do something different tonight and just go for it and get some?" Well, I love spice, but yeah, we made this little like sausage disco these sausages over some scrambled eggs, and I put a little basil in there, a little garlic, and it was like an Italian fun. A couple tomatoes, God forbid, throw away my carnivore card. Well, today I feel like utter crap. I mean, I kind of just, it's not that I feel terrible, but I just don't, I'm flat. It's unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure I've had tomatoes before that didn't, I don't feel this way when I eat tomatoes, but I'm pretty sure there's some spices or something in those sausages that, you know, it's Costco. The pork's probably shit. There's probably something in there that's not good, but I feel like it's funny, man, because we do this and then we go, why did I do that? Like, you know, I just think steak and eggs would have been a much better option, right? Like, it's just, so yeah, that's what I did. So I had some hot Italian, and now we have 4 left in the fridge, and I'm like, I don't even think I want to eat them. Like, it's just, It was like, yeah, great experience, Tony. Good one. So that's why, Peter. That's why. So
yeah, but already the pork is bad. I mean, for me personally, bacon works, but that's it. If I eat anything else, it can go all right, but often other cuts of pork they cause skin rash and that sort of things.
Yeah, and I don't do that very often. I don't eat, like, we try and buy the best quality. If we're gonna eat pork, we try and buy the best quality possible. But you know what? It was like, you know, Costco, and I'm looking, and these things were calling me, man. I was like, I haven't had a hot Italian sausage for a long time. And now I know why, right? Like, it's just like all these things just hammer you in the head, and it's like,
well, that's why I've said in the past, like, I enjoy every now and then to have something that I used to enjoy, and to see the effect on the body at the time, because some of those things, some of the symptoms appear straight within half an hour to a couple of hours. It appears the same day.
Yeah.
Or even the next day, depending on how much you have, you feel like you've got a food hangover.
Yeah.
And it's a good reminder as to why you change the way you eat. It's a good reminder as to why you're eating the way you eat, because you can feel that stuff's not good for your body. And especially if you had, I mean, if it doesn't affect you then and you want to eat it, then enjoy it because you live once. But at the same time, if you've had autoimmune issues and you've been sick all your life, or you've had a lot of sickness throughout your years, then it's even more important just to stay, okay, well, that's why. And then every now and then, when you, preferably on a weekend when you're not working, have that odd thing, and then you feel shitty for a while, and it's just a fresh reminder of why you do what you do.
Well, that's actually what I tell my clients. It's like, if you're gonna do something, become the observer, become the experiment. Like, don't underestimate the power of different shit that you're eating. And it's unreal when you just take that awareness and be open to the possibilities. You'll find like a little kink in your knuckle, like, or a little thing will start popping up. You won't sleep as well. You, like, certain things will happen, and it could be the pepper. Like, that's what we don't understand. We just put everything in. It's good for you, bad for you, and it's like, no. And that's what I did, and that's where, you know, like, as soon as I ate it, I've got my guard up. I'm going, okay, I wonder how this is going to, and you know, I felt bloated. Could have been the tomatoes, could have been the something, whatever. I'm okay with a little bit of bloating. I kind of farted a little bit because I knew I had some plant material that I don't usually eat. And then the sleep the sleep was meh. And then today I'm like, you know what? I just steak. That's what I feel like right now. I'm like, I want to eat early and I want to eat a steak. But it's the power of these different things that, you know, we just get, we're unaware of it. And as you get, like you mentioned earlier, Byron, clean, you start to be way more responsive to these things, and your resilience isn't necessarily a thing anymore. You're actually tuned in to what the possibilities are, and it's mind blowing when you can get to that point, for sure. So I took it, like, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, it tasted bloody good, but I mean, I became
at the time. Your brain's getting triggered, and you're like, so it definitely it's nice at the time, and you're getting that high, but it's like it's
Yeah.
that little short while afterwards. Once that half falls away, that honeymoon falls away. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
And,
me.
how are you handling Byron? Because you had an excursion last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, no, I had some stuff because it like especially this time I enjoy. I've always enjoyed a Christmas cake like with that icing on top, but the difference back then, years ago, I'd buy like big pieces. Now they actually cut these small little slices that are pretty much almost like 2 mouthfuls, and then it's done, and
Yeah.
it's almost like perfect because it's
Just gives you
as soon
the
as you have that second bite, you can taste the chemicals and you can taste the crap. It's like I said, it's that initial high on the brain that just works that magic as such, and then
Yeah.
the reality kicks in, and you're like, oh no, it's like
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Once you start getting control of this, and you can take a bite or something. And I tell people, people that I'm coaching, I tell them if you're going to a dinner or some event that's once, it's an experience. It's not just it's a special occasion. Eat a good meal that you eat first, and when you go there, all of a sudden those cheats might be a taste. It's not a full like off the rails adventure where you're gonna feel like crap. You'll be full. You're not. It's a different process, and then you become the observer again. And like you said, Byron, that first bite is that memory, maybe that soul. The second bite is that, oh man, and that's how I did last time I ate pasta. That's exactly what happened to me. First bite was like, I missed this. Second bite was like, oh my god, what am I doing? This is. I feel good. And then
we touched on it last week as well with Steven. Is that like if I'm going to have a coffee, I'll have a coffee, but I'll make sure I'm having enough salt that day to counteract or to do the best to sort of counteract it, even though you might not do it all the time. But I'll have the salt to counteract what the cramps and the depleting of your sodium is going to do.
Yeah.
And the same thing, if I know that I'm going to try some certain foods and I know that those foods have sugars in or something has an effect that could make me want to just like start eating away at it, before we leave the house, I make sure I have a shitload of protein.
Yeah.
And I feel satisfied and full so that by the time I get there, if I'm going to try something, I'm not hungry because I'm feeling full already. So it's a mouthful and it's like, oh, okay, that's what it tastes like. And you'll still have those effects on the body, but I always try and make sure that I'm going to have enough protein and nutrients before I go out and test anything if I know I'm going to go test something.
Yeah, and I know Fleur mentioned that's what we call pre-gaming, man. We pre-game every time, and it helps you. And Bride's Biscuit, that's interesting too, because that's the possibilities as well. Like when I do these sort of off the beaten path, it's like that immediately, a couple hours after, how did I sleep? When I wake up, what happened day 1, day 2, day 3, because I feel you. Like I've done some excursions and experiments where I was wrecked for 2 weeks, and it was like I ate salads and green vegetables for a weekend, and I felt the same thing. I was definitely different, and that's the other thing too, right? Like for sure.
But
and something that happened in the past, like I mean, I was eating a lot of plants and fiber, and of course I was not always feeling great on that in terms of digestive system, but overall it's not like it was a misery all the time. And so those fibers had the benefit of when I was eating something probably that was not good for me. Like if I now eat macadamia nuts on their own, I feel it immediately. They give troubles in my gut. It's painful almost. Yeah. But with those fibers and those plants with it just covers it up and it flushes it out, true, but it also hides the symptoms, because no doubt things are still happening there, but you feel it less, or you don't even feel it at all because there's all this noise.
There's the trade-off between your gut resilience and how, and that's the thing, some of this stuff really, really affects us more as we get cleaner. Some of the stuff doesn't, and it's like, and that's where you gotta stick to your foundations on what is good for you, what is beneficial, and then just because you can tolerate something Did not make. Yeah, just because
And
you
that's-
tolerate Wonder Bread does not mean it's good for you, right?
But that's exactly what that comment said there from Brad's Biscuit. And it's exactly that, and that's why, like, if I'm going to go out somewhere and I know there's something there I'm going to want to try just to see what it, and remind myself of that taste, is like, I'll make sure I eat enough protein at home before I go out,
Yeah.
because of that very reason. There is, you start to eat too much of it, you're hungry and you need to eat more, and then all of a sudden you get too much of it in your system, and it can take, because we're all different. Some of us will be fine in one day.
Yeah.
Some of us will take 12 weeks like that to be
Yeah.
healed again and sorted. And each person's different. So when you hear of somebody else, oh, they do this and they do that, or they try that,
Yes.
for somebody who has a real serious autoimmune issue and they
Yeah.
try the very thing that put them in the hospital or gave them bad symptoms,
Yeah.
you'll find that after a day of eating it or a weekend of eating it, it could take them months to come right again.
Yeah.
And we know, like with a lot of oxalate poisoning, it can even take up to 12 months or 6 months for things to work out your system. So if you have a
That's-
whole weekend of it, it's
Yeah.
different to having just one bite or a couple of bites of it.
That's
And-
exactly what happened to one of my clients. She's dealing with a very serious autoimmune thing. She's got it under control. She changed and went to a naturopathic doctor. The
Yeah.
naturopathic doctor convinced her to eat grains. And
Oh.
now she's got severe histamine reactions, and it wrecked her. Like, it literally knocked her back from, like, she was like, something's going on, like a month of doing this. And the naturopath was like, just, oh, no, it's your body adjusting. It's like, no, it's not. Do not. And now I'm working with her, helping her to rebuild her gut. Round 2. So
Yeah.
she got her autoimmune under control. Then it got wrecked with another problem, and it's all to do with grains. And now this histamine intolerance is out of control, and she's had to go from a moderate carnivore diet to pretty much a lion. Like, and it's unreal with 1 month of bringing back foods in that were inappropriate. So this stuff is real, and a lot of people don't realize it, that this can knock you back for,
Yeah.
it's
And
definitely.
then you also get the same from I forget her name, but in a toxin book as well, where
Sally Norton.
Sally Norton. Yeah.
where she speaks about the body when it's going to overload on toxins to like detoxifying, that can also have a side effect. So for some
Surgery.
people, it's fine. The body can get rid of a lot of toxins at the same time.
Yeah.
But then for other people, it's better to rather reduce it and do it over
Yeah.
like a period of time, so
Yeah.
that you don't get that big effect of that toxin dumping.
Actually, that's a thing, because my what Peter does, what Peter eats didn't come up, but it's this week it should have been called what Peter doesn't eat anyway, because I've been fasting for 3 days, doing a butter fast actually. So
Okay.
I like to sometimes start my fast with butter and then decide later on, like 1 day later, for example, if I continue with a real fast or continue with butter or go a level down and do sardines. But what I noticed is the same what you mentioned, Byron. Also during fasting, you are detoxing, and I started to have a little bit of skin rash. And definitely it was not coming from butter, because and also not anything I was eating before, no dry aged meat or anything, no histamine issues or whatever. So
Yeah.
Oh, and that's why it's so important, though, I think, for any person that's potentially on social media. What people don't see is that people are putting across what they've done, what they've felt in that. But at the end of the day, as well, is that everybody's got to remember that they're different.
Yes.
Like, a 3-day fast for me is going to be different for a 3-day fast for you or for anybody else, and because it depends on where your body's at, how much toxins you still got in your body, or what autoimmune issues you might have, and the fasting might not be beneficial for you at that time. And you've seen this with many of the other guys that are obviously medical professionals that know all these things as well. So with their clients, they'll do different things at different times and different stages. But when people see people on social media saying, oh, this is good and this works for you, everybody's got to still work out what's best for them.
Yeah. And sometimes it does. It takes trial and error to know thyself. Like, that's the thing where, and it's like we hold these things like that. He does it, it should be. That's not the way it works. You know, like you need to feel it for yourself and don't take it personally. Like like I tell people, like, man, salmon's healthy. You eat it and you feel like shit, it isn't good for you. You know, like
I find this interesting, this comment of Aiden Straub. I think
welcome,
that's
Aiden.
German name.
Thanks
But
for-
yeah, that's
thanks.
exactly the reason why I start my fast. I mean, it's actually a long time ago that I did a fast, and often I started this way for exactly avoiding any stress. So I want to feel like, am I really ready to go for 2 or 3 days? And often I will just do 1 day. And that typically happens at work. I go to work in the morning without bringing food. And then it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I might be hungry. And if I'm not, I might do a 1.5 day fast, for example.
Yeah.
There is also, I mean, we know fasting can be stressful on the body as well, but at the same time, it's like with anything else, there is a time and a place for certain fasting. So like I like to also do a 3-day fast in terms of there's a nice reset that your body obviously does with a 3-day fast. Again, though, but it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
If you're still going through a lot of healing and you're still going through a lot of things, you obviously want to be guided by people that are experienced with it because they've dealt with many different clients. But at the same time, you're going to fast for 3 days. Make sure you're in a place that you can do it, that it's not going to undo what you've already done in terms of progress of your body. And like he said there, the thing is that if you're eating meat and you're eating a certain way, your body's cortisol levels are going to stay low. Your whole system's going to be working in an optimal way anyway. And by doing so, you'll automatically not eat as often as you would normally.
Exactly.
And then the fasting also becomes like a natural. Like if you wake up in the morning, you're not hungry, then don't eat.
Yeah.
Don't eat just for the sake of eating because someone says you must have breakfast.
Exactly. And I mean, I've trained myself to be very just flexible with my schedule. I don't get dictated by meal times. I get dictated by if it's convenient and it's time to eat, I'll eat. It's not because, you know, I need to eat breakfast and I need to eat lunch and I need to eat dinner. It's like, Fleur and I are very, you know, some days we eat at 7, 8, some days we eat at 3, some days we eat at 12. It's just, we're very fly. And my thing about fasting is, you're right, Byron. Like if you're planning a 3-day fast and you haven't done it before, make sure that your lifestyle can be prepared just in case. Like, you know, I'm not saying you're going to be great or not great, but if you're working a heavy, stressful job and you're trying to white knuckle yourself through the fast, that might not be the best idea. You know, you might not be ready for it. But I mean, you know, I found like I can go 3 days. Once I get past the first day mealtime, usually around 5, like dinner time, the first day, which I do 24 hours all the time. I'm an OMAD usually. Once I get past that, I can fast for as long as I want. Like it's that one first, you're used to eating now, but it's different for me, right? Like, and a lot of times, you know, we force. And I think the butter thing is a good idea for energy. Like, I mean, shit, man, they're doing a sugar diet thing too.
People should realize that they can obtain most of the benefits, sometimes maybe to a lower degree, but you can get the same benefits by other methods. Like autophagy is there always, and if you do intermittent fasting, you will experience it. If you do a lot of intensive exercises, maybe also on a empty stomach in the morning or so, and then you have breakfast after, no doubt you will also have more autophagy. And in terms of reset, I mean, there's a place for it if you want to go in deep ketosis, maybe if you are having cancer or so, that type of situations where you really want to have low GKI ratios and that sort of things.
Yeah.
So there's all different protocols for different reasons.
Yeah.
And I think also the key thing though with anything in terms of your lifestyle is, I think what people need to always make sure, like besides obviously not staying focused on weight loss, because weight loss is fine if you're healthy. If you're healthy as such, but you want to lose a bit of weight, then your focus is purely on weight loss. But to get healthy, if you're not healthy, to me, weight loss shouldn't be your focus. If you focus on health, once your body's healthy, it's going to lose weight automatically. And I think that's what people forget at times. And then also at the same time, it's to make sure I think during this whole process, whether it's to get healthy or weight loss or anything like that, a big key factor for me is always learn to listen to your body.
Absolutely, that's
Learn
number
your
one
body
rule.
telling you.
Byron,
because
when I take on new clients, when we start the process, I have to know where you're at first, because the health is the most important thing. We don't talk about ketosis. We don't talk about metabolic health, and then you need to get your fear of food out of there, because it's not eat less, move more, which actually is going to tie into the next thing we'll talk about. But that's exactly right. Like, our priorities are so, and Mark would be all over this right now, because our diet culture is all about weight loss is healthy. Like, lose weight, you're healthy. And I mean, we all have friends, I'm sure, that you see that you're, that, you know, they think they're eating healthy. And it's like, look at the bread thing that we just looked at the beginning of this. It doesn't mean just because they tell you it's nutritious, just because they say you're healthy does not mean so. And listening to your body is the intuition is the ultimate prize in my opinion.
Maybe just to go ahead, Byron.
Sorry, I just wanted to touch on that still, is that it's the same thing as when people go to a doctor and they say, look, this is what I feel, this is what I'm doing. And then the doctor shrugs it off. Like, people, you know what you know your body, and your body tells you, unless your feelings are really distorted by whatever sickness you might have. But a lot of the time, people will know, hey, there's something not right to my system. There's something not right. And it's so important to listen to your body, because your body was designed that way. It was designed to tell you when to eat, when not to eat. But because of all these other chemicals, and it's part of that brain. I can never remember the name, but it gets it, if you want to use calories, from what they showed in the study, it gets to within 500 calories of what your body requires for the day.
Yes.
So if we learn to listen to the body and the signals, it does that. But if we're having stuff, obviously, that messes that all up. So that's why, for me, that whole health journey is starting to learn to listen to your body again.
You know what? I did. Funny you say that, because I did this little experiment, because I had somebody I was explaining calories and blah, 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 and whatever. We can get into in a minute. But I basically intuitively didn't do any math. I just put the steak that I thought I'd eat, and it was like picanha. So it had a nice strip of fat along it. And I kind of was like, okay, this is what I think I should eat. I cut off the fat, weighed the meat, weighed the fat. It was bang on about 2,500 calories, perfect ratio meat, like arguably fat to protein. And it was like, holy shit, that's interesting. Like, I mean, I don't go by that, but it's kind of neat how that, you know, once your natural signals come online, like, go drink 24 cans of water. Good luck. You can drink 12 beers, no problem, right? Just go drink 12 bottles of water. Like, your body's going to say, stop doing that. That's ridiculous. Right?
I think and then also that's where the industry to a certain degree is also fault, because they use a general rule of thumb, and everybody seems to follow the general rule of thumb and then still feel why they're not getting better or why they're sick. Like, oh, you must drink 8 ounces of water a day, or you must do this and that. It's like all that information was based on a long time ago. And at the end of the day, everybody, like we said, everybody's different. So if you feel that your body's telling you to drink water, then drink water. If you feel that you're hungry, obviously eat the right foods.
As long as you're eating right stuff, like real food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you must eat this amount of food every day. I mean, if we all ate like that, somebody who's 6'6" that weighs whatever, 140 kilos, if I'm going to eat what he's going to eat, or he's going to eat what I'm going to eat, it's going to definitely not work out in the long run.
Yeah, and when it comes to water, how is that with you guys? I noticed actually that I started recently. I mean, the last few months, I just noticed that I drink far less than 2 liters per day. And I also drink coffee. And it's not like when I look at the urine that it's dark or bright or anything. It's just normal. So maybe I drink 1 liter of water.
Yeah.
Sometimes not even.
I definitely don't drink as much water as I used to. When I was a trainer, there was the whole formula that they taught you based on how much exertion you're putting on the body. There's a calculation you could do. And at those stages, when I was like way more active, I was drinking 4 or 5 liters of water a day. and I was sweating a lot, and there was a whole lot of things into it. But since obviously being on carnivore and eating this carnivore lifestyle, I definitely, my water intake won't be the same every day, and it fluctuates. And also, there's some days when I can feel that I need to drink. My body tells me, okay, I need some liquids. But then there's days where it's like, okay, I'm not thirsty, I'm not hungry, but I've eaten pretty well. And obviously you've had some liquids during the day, but it's not like you've had to have a lot. And then I also think it obviously also contributes towards your electrolytes.
Before I answer the water, I know there was a little bit of chat about stress, beneficial stress. In my opinion, all that stress talk basically depends on your nervous system. If a stress is pushing you hard into the sympathetic state, it's too stressful. It's not right. I mean, I'm not talking about bumping the red line once in a while, but that nervous system we underestimate is the biggest thing, where something can be a very beneficial stress or a hardcore stress. You know, like going extreme both ways is not good. So I think hopefully that helps a little.
Yeah, that's what some influencers now talk about in terms of stress and distress.
Yeah, and I mean, it's
the same with the exercise, because I saw somebody's comments earlier on. The same with exercises. Yes, you can overtrain, and you can put the stress on the body.
Overtraining. I mean, I'm not a personal trainer, but overtraining would put your body into that sympathetic survival state where it's trying to catch up, and you're not letting it get, you're not letting it relax. So it's all yin yang. Like there's so much, but I do honestly, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm going into the next sort of my next evolution is looking at the whys, and whys is, the mind, the vagus nerve, the stress, the nervous system is so important to realize that it's a major factor that we quite often don't realize. Like, well, we sort of know, but we don't really get into it really, really heavily. So, I mean, I think, that's where breath work, meditation, good diet is good, and it will help you be more resilient, but it's that whole nervous system, leveraging your nervous system for you is a good idea. So,
and also just movement in general is pretty good for you. If you're sitting a lot, if you behind a desk majority of your day and you're not really moving and getting that movement as well, then you're also going to have other stresses on your body. Then all of a sudden you're going to have fascia that's going to tighten up, and you're going to have postural issues. Then you're going to have walking issues. You're going to have muscle imbalances. Yeah. It's like, it's a whole combination. Like health is not just about looking good. To me, it's a package. Yep. Like when people talk about health, it's how you feel inside, it's how you're treating your body overall, and as well as obviously the main thing is what you're putting in your body, because we know that can affect you quite badly, especially on the brain. The brain signals that are going to the body. If the brain doesn't have what it needs, which we know
exactly, that
video link that I sent to you.
Yeah.
If you have a look at the Alzheimer's increase.
Yes.
And you look at the amount of people with issues.
Yeah.
The brain can't function and do what it needs, and the body is there to support the brain.
And that actually ties in. Byron and I are doing a little side project. I won't get into it right now, but it's about hijacking the mind, and it's all part of it. Like the brain function is, you can argue all day long about what is or isn't, but eating a species-specific diet is going to give your brain the best chance to process properly. Simple. You know what I mean? Anything that varies off of that, you're going to be looking into some trouble, right? We all know dopamine. People are dopamine addicts, but nobody really looks at maybe why you're so addicted to this, because maybe your brain's not firing properly. So that's probably a whole other podcast, but maybe we'll talk about that in one or two episodes. But guys, before we wind it up today, I want to put on something, because I got some hate, which it's awesome, because this is something to do with what we were talking about today. But I've been focusing on why eating less lately is not, there's so many arguments out there about eating less. It's so vague. And somebody their message. I'm going to show you the comment, and I'm going to show you the video quickly. It's a quick one, and then we'll just have a little chat about it.
When people stop trying to eat less and start eating better, more nutrient-dense foods, more ancestral whole foods, that resistance drops. Weight loss stops feeling like a fight. Energy comes back, and the body starts trusting again. Here's the
So I had that, and then in the comments I got riddled with it. But I'm gonna show you the best one. This guy, and we gotta have some fun with this. But bro, you only exist because your ancestors had access to carbs. Wow, that's pretty cool. Did we really access?
It's strictly speaking maybe true, because in those rare moments when there was no food, it's good that we were able to digest.
You
those.
absolutely should be eating less. Burn more calories than you consume is always the only answer. And I'm like, I didn't really respond because I'm just laughing, because it's like, and then the comments started flying in about eat less, move more is the only answer.
But
And,
also, it's not to be funny or disrespectful to them or anything like that. But
no,
if that's their belief, it doesn't help arguing with them, because until they figure it out and work it out for themselves, they're going to still believe in that calorie in, calorie out crap, which, I mean, you explain, and this is what I can never fathom, and it's because they've never done it. I've been on both sides of the equation as well. I've been overweight. I lost 30 kilos just by adjusting a few things. I've also, and that was even before carnivore. So I know how nutrition can affect you. But then at the same time, I've also been on that both sides of the equation of calories in, calories out as well, where you lose a lot of weight, you got a six-pack, you might look good, but you're as hungry as shit because you don't get enough nutrients in your body. So, and then you eat more calories than what you should to not, obviously you're not focusing on losing weight, but you still lose weight, you still lose belt sizes, and you're eating more calories. You're like, explain that to me, because that debunks the calories in, calories out.
And here's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm not in the ripped physical shape. I can still see my abs, and I've just actually recently started going back to the gym because it's time. I just want to get in there and move. My work now isn't as physical as it was while I was in school. It wasn't like 3 years ago. I was moving every day. I was like really active that way. So I'm like, now it's time to get back into this. My physicality has not changed much. And I eat the same amount now as I did while I was working. Maybe a little bit less intuitively, but this is perfect. And my genetics, am I a freak? No. But my weight has stayed within probably 6 pounds, and my muscle mass has not really changed. And being back at the gym, I mean, I can still bang off 100 push-ups. I can still deadlift 300 pounds. It hasn't changed that much. I mean, I'm not talking PBs or anything like that, but I notice my strength might not be as full, but it's there. And I'm like, this just proves to me, in my mind, calories mean nothing. Like, I mean, I'm eating the right foods for my body to be healthy, and I feel good. And it's unreal how not much has changed. My lifestyle has changed over the last 3-4 years. Yeah. My diet hasn't really, and it's, if not anything, been pretty much one meal a day, big, 2 pounds-ish of meat, and then nothing's really changed. So I'm not buying it. I mean, do I need carbohydrates? Obviously not. Would they help with a workout or a tool? I don't know, but I don't care because I feel pretty good. So
it helps the carb oriented people. If you eat carbs during the day, it helps refilling your glycogen reserves before and after workouts and those things.
Yeah.
And of course, it will also trigger insulin. More so probably when you're on a carb diet than just a bit of protein. So.
And I'll tell you what doesn't work: hot Italian sausage. That doesn't work. I do not feel like going to the gym right now. There's not a chance. So that's my takeaway from that. Well, boys, I think we had a good rant today, a good little session. Byron, thank you so much for coming on and subbing in for Mark. Peter, we're going to talk about what's going on next week. I don't know if you want to just jump on and do a show because it's 2 days after Christmas and we haven't really talked about it. So we're going to air it out publicly.
Yeah.
I'm down to come on. And Byron, if you want to come and join, because I know Mark's going to be gone till the new year. So come back on and join us. Yeah, we'll figure something to have some fun with next week. Maybe we'll talk about all of our Christmas experiences and what we did for our feasts. And
I think as well, just for the Christmas time as well, is that people mustn't beat themselves up if they do have any meals as such.
Yeah.
As long as it's not your lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that one meal you're gonna feel bad for one day, but just freaking get on the bandwagon the next day and
just get on the horse.
Your normal way. Life's too short. I know we want to be healthy, but something else could kill you tomorrow. Someone doesn't stop at a stop street or something like that.
Yeah.
Just forbid, but don't beat yourself up over one meal of having something bad.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, that leads us to Byron. Where do people find you? How do people get a hold of you? Let us know what your plans are for the holidays. And
just on Carnivore Beats on TikTok and Carnivore Beats YT on YouTube. That's basically it. And for Christmas, spending with some friends, where I'll have like a spoonful of stuff that I used to enjoy, but my plate will be 90%, 95% meat, and that's it.
Awesome. Peter?
You can find me as the Dutch Carnivore on TikTok, where I do Dutch videos. And lately I'm doing a lot of debunking of wrong usage of science. So Dr. Itz was one of them, Paul Saladino as well. So I'm trying to go a bit more towards the nuanced, or let's say, make it more explicit that we carnivores, most of us, are nuanced, right? I mean, it's not that we fear carbs or that we say that a ketogenic diet or ketovore or low carb diet is bad. I mean, they are super good as well. And if you can tolerate plants, eat those. And doing a similar thing a bit with the low carb perspective on TikTok, and I'm happy to see actually that it's kicking off a little bit.
Kicking off, man.
Yeah. But there, since it's the type 1 diabetes community, I try to be a bit more provocative, because there is just otherwise you don't get hurt, and there's just a lot of sensitivity and diabetes pride and diabetes awareness. Like they have a diabetes awareness month even, during which they talk about how sad it is for us diabetics, how difficult and how misunderstood we are, and blah 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 blah.
And there's Peter going.
I mean, so you talk a little bit about low carb or anything, and you get all kinds of hate comments. I mean, it's like Tony's video, right? It was perfect video. Who can disagree with it?
There's a lot of people that disagree, right?
That was the only one, and it was a hate comment, right?
Yeah. It's funny.
It's amazing to see on TikTok, and the filtering is quite decent. I mean, it's you don't get, like on Instagram, very bad comments. They are sort of friendly, but once in a while you get these people that blame you of misinformation and so on and so on. But in a way, I'm happy with it, because it shows that it's apparently problematic to tell these things.
That's right.
And your health and your thinking for yourself is more important than someone else's opinion.
Yeah. Well, and apparently for those people, it's the other way around sometimes. Yeah.
There's no doubt. Well, guys, like, speaking of comments on my stuff, I'm doing the same thing as Peter. I've kind of revamped my social media presence. I've kind of given up the food for thought thing. I've kind of gone into more TonyStewartCoaching.com, because I'm going to get into the other side of this stuff that's more energetic, spiritual. It's not just about the carnivores. It's about getting people to the awareness to be healthy from, a little bit more of a general sense, maybe leading them into choosing a carnivore diet, what's best for them. So I'm kind of trying a couple things out. It's not just going to be me ranting about eating meat anymore. I'm trying a different spin on it. And already I'm getting some good sort of feedback, and that's kind of where I'm at. I want to let people know that I'm doing another challenge. I think Victoria was on the last one. I think she had a good time, but it starts January 15th. Just beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for 21 days. Come and do it with us, because, it was fun to do it with communities. I actually had a couple people switch to carnivore because of it. They saw the light. They challenged themselves for 21 days. And by day 7, they're like, what is going on? So it was a success. And I would love to have as many carnivores do it with me as possible, because it's nice to have that experience and show that, there's the people that try it, that, they have some support. But anyway, you can go to my website, TonyStewartCoaching.com. Byron and I are working on an ebook that's going to come out soon. I'm excited about it. And yeah, you can find me at all social media platforms, Tony_Food for Thought. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Boys, always a pleasure. We are the Meat of the Matter podcast. We're here live every Sunday at 6 p.m. in the UK, Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands, and 10 a.m. Pacific time here in great old Canada. And we will be here next week. Byron will be here. Mark, we're wishing you all the best and enjoy your time with your family and the holidays. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, all the stuff. Everybody in the chats, thank you very much for chiming in. We love you all. Thanks for the support. And we are starting this family little thing. We appreciate all the people that are here every Sunday. We love you, and we will see you next weekend.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.